Welcome back, everybody. JumpX podcast, episode number 67. Austin Young is here, as usual. Today, talking about a favorite topic of mine, actually a pet peeve of mine, is ankle rolls, how to avoid them, common mistakes we see. So yeah.
Yes. Ankle rolls. So, like, have you had a bad ankle roll before, Tom?
To be honest, not in my dunking career, no. I've had like sprains here and there. Like there was a session a couple of weeks ago where I sprained it on a dribble dunk and I couldn't like jump for about 5-10 minutes. But it kind of went away after that. And then I finished my session, could still jump 100%. After that, woke up the next day completely fine. So other than that, none that come to mind.
Yeah, it's one of the most common injuries in basketball. Not too much dunking related though, to be honest. Unless your proprioception and strength around your ankle is very bad,
Yeah.
then yeah, you're gonna roll your ankle. But most of the time it's kind of a free thing. When you step on someone's foot or something like that, we deal with it quite a lot with our athletes and help them overcome it and rehab it and everything like that. So we're no strangers to it. I've had plenty of ankle rolls in the past, playing basketball, stepping on people's feet and all that sort of stuff like that. Um, so, and it can range. It could be a mild sprain to a very bad sprain to where it can take like a year to rehab. We pretty much snap your ligaments. So, yeah. So, in terms of that, Tom, what are your thoughts on the whole subject? Like, where do people go wrong? Like all that sort of stuff. Like, how do you actually get over an ankle injury?
So it obviously depends on the grade of ankle injury. Now, generally they're into three categories, 1 to 3. So like grade one is like a minor sprain. So I probably didn't even have a grade one when I did mine. But a grade one is like a typical ankle roll. It swells the next day. But within 1 or 2 weeks, it's pretty much fine and back to full strength. And there's no like minimal structural damage. Like there's not much actually going wrong with it. Then there's grade two, which is like a partial tear. Now this is getting like quite serious. We know a few people who've had this, and partial torn their ligaments in their ankle. And then three is full tear. So we know people who've done this to the ACFL, CFL. They're like the two most common ligaments that do get torn in ankle injuries. So trying to think of a good example. Brendan Hummerstone and Bailey Foster are examples of people who tore their ATFL and CFL in the same injury. And they didn't actually no, I think Bailey's was grade two, but Brendan was definitely grade three because he got an MRI. And Bailey probably took like 2 months to come back fully, to even just like start playing at all. And then Brendan probably took like 4 to 6 months from his ankle injury. And this is with no surgical intervention.
That is insane.
Mm.
That is insane. Um, okay. So what about like a mild sort of sprain? What's the go with that? Should
Mm.
someone keep playing, keep jumping, keep dunking?
Uh, Generally, I'd say really easy way back into it. Now, I did make a post about this a while ago, and pretty much, if you do any kind of damage to any degree on your ligaments, it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks to see the structure rebuild itself and replenish and repair itself. So you should probably wait that much time before you go back to exactly what you're doing before. Obviously, from like the 4 to 8 week mark, you can start introducing like light stuff, and maybe you could play like half the amount of time, or you can do more gym instead of basketball, or like just you can't be loading the exact same, because what we see 9 times out of 10 is people go back as soon as it stops hurting, but the pain does not equal function. Therefore, a lot of people will feel good after 2 weeks, after like a grade one, grade two, go back to their sport, do the same injury, cycle keeps repeating. And if they had just waited an extra 2 weeks, they probably wouldn't have run into that. So it's really just like a patience thing. And at the end of the day, it might take longer to get back the first time, but if you have to repeat the same injury 4 times, or that's like half a year just gone.
Yeah. No facts, rather than just like kind of doing it all properly at the start and then not setting yourself back more.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I get it. Like, it's annoying not to be able to, play your sport, dunk, whatever. So we're not saying it's easy to just say, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to do this." Especially if you're trying to like play high level basketball. I know it. Yeah, it requires a lot of time on the court. So yeah. There was something else I was going to say about um ankle. Oh yeah, so it's kind of hard sometimes to distinguish like the severity of it. But as a general rule, if it swells but doesn't bruise, you're probably clear. You're probably fine. If anything, you've done like minimal damage. But if you get to the point where it's like bruising, so example, one of my friends, Sean Verger, he didn't think he had actually torn anything or done any damage, right? But it was bruised. Like, say this is like the outside of his ankle, this joint here, all up his calf was bruised. And if you're getting stuff like that, definitely go look into getting an MRI or something like that, because more than likely you've done more than just a sprain.
Yeah. No, 100%. I remember when there was a period where I was playing basketball back in like 2019 and I rolled my ankle. I can't remember how, but then I just kept playing, and then I remember like over the course of a month, like consecutively every week, I would like re-roll it, but
Yep.
then just keep playing on it. But they were just mild ones, so
Yeah.
I was very lucky. But every week I would re-roll it or redo it because there was just so much instability there.
Yep.
So no, it's crazy. Like even a lot of people like, if you keep playing on it and don't manage it properly, it can lead to other injuries as well, especially overuse injuries in the Achilles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to, you know, I guess your biomechanics changing. In terms of how you're running, you're probably going to bias one side more than the other, and just overall how your ankle is functioning anyway. You're obviously going to compensate because there's not enough stability through the ligaments. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's only so much you can do to prevent an ankle roll. Because if you jump 40 inches and your foot goes like that, bang, roll, like more than likely you're going to roll it, and there's nothing you can really do about that. But
Mm.
there are to prevent the severity of it, and that's strengthening your ankle. And there's a variety of ways of doing this. But again,
Strength, but strength 100%, but uh like proprioception, like to be honest, I would say plays a bigger role. Just
mm-hmm,
your awareness of where you're positioning your feet as
absolutely.
well. Because it doesn't matter how strong you get your ankle, if you're always putting it in the wrong place or planting wrong and all that sort of stuff, right? You're just gonna keep redoing it, you know? It's kind of like it doesn't matter how strong your quads and hamstrings are, if you just keep putting your knee in a position to where you're gonna tear your ACL, you're just gonna keep tearing your ACL, aren't
Yeah. Yeah.
you?
Well, I've seen like clips of players, right? And they'll roll their ankle in a situation when you probably shouldn't be rolling your ankle. It's literally just like they're running and they change their direction slightly, and then their ankle's like out that way, just because they have no like perception of where they are. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
no, that happened to Steph Curry early on in his career. I remember
yeah,
hearing about it. Um, and yeah, it almost ended it, to be honest. But then they got on top of it and addressed it, and it's pretty infrequent now. But even then, like when you get on top of these things, right, like it's not going to completely eliminate ankle rolls, but these things can actually reduce the severity. So what might have been a grade 3 might be a grade 1 now, you know? So like,
uh, yeah. But if you combine like an unstable ankle from previous injury and coming back too soon with bad proprioception, like that's just for honestly injuring it even worse the second time around. Like maybe you did a grade 1, but next time around you do a grade 3 because you didn't get on top of it.
yeah. That's where you walking around barefoot a lot, Tom, will help you a lot.
Mm.
Bro is always walking in like bare feet and socks, to be honest.
To be
So
honest, I'm barefoot unless I'm in the gym or dunking. Like around the house, in the shops, always barefoot. Like I don't know, it's just something, it's just a habit.
you almost look homeless, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Barefoot in the trackies.
That's it, bro. Yeah, but it's actually like even good exercise, like really low level, really basic. If you're coming back from a bad ankle roll, would just be walking on the beach, walking on sand with no shoes on. Like there's little like instabilities in the sand, or you step one side and the sand dips, the other side of the ankle has to compensate for that. Very good low level reintroduction.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get some grounding in as well,
Oh,
absorbing the earth's
yeah.
nutrients, you know?
What does AP call it? Primal contacts.
Yeah.
Get your primal contacts in, guys.
No, you actually feel better though after doing that. Do you find that? No joke.
I I I haven't really thought about it that much. Like,
Yeah.
'cause
And like
I
getting
always,
the vitamin D as well.
what was that?
Getting the vitamin D as well.
Yeah, no, that is good. You do feel good after that.
Just getting the salt in your hair, your
Mhm.
skin, getting the primal contacts, enhancing your proprioception, bro. Going to the beach, that's the secret. That's the secret.
This is actually how Austin's going to get to a 45-inch vert. Which I didn't tell you before, but now you know. He's not going
Yeah,
to changing anything in his training. He's just going to the beach, and then that'll do it.
no
Yeah.
facts. That's all I'm doing. Plyometrics in the sand.
All sand and water pliers, pliers in the water.
What are your thoughts on that?
What?
Sand pliers?
For you,
No, in general.
pretty shit to be honest, because it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like novelty things, really.
Yeah, like looks good on Instagram and shit, but like just because it's on sand doesn't make it inherently better. Just like looks cool.
Yeah, because it just slows the ground contact times down drastically.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's the only reason I asked it was for you is because if you're maybe coming back from injury, potentially that's a way you could do pliers is in the sand. But then even then, you got the instability element, so I don't even know. You can maybe do like if you're coming back from knee pain, like depth landings in the sand instead of on the ground first. But even then, it's just probably a bit of a hassle to actually go to the beach just to do that. You could just lower the box and then just go from there.
Yeah, no facts.
But yeah, it is a novelty worth putting in.
What are your thoughts on doing tibialis raises for ankle rehab?
I mean, if you want to do tib raises, you want to have strong tibs, sure, but like your tibs are already pretty strong. Uh, if you're playing basketball, jumping, dunking, like you said this, we both really have like very strong tibs, but we probably haven't done tib raises in years. I mean, I haven't at least. I don't know when you did them last.
No, I haven't done them in ages, bro.
I think so. No, I think there's better things you could do. But if you just want to have something like tick it off that you've completed that muscle group for the day, go for it. But like the return on investment, I don't think is the highest.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Um, but yeah, man. Like ankle rolls are probably like what's even more of a, I guess, plague in the industry we live in, ankle rolls or knee
I think
pain,
it's those two.
you know? It's like one of the two, like ankle, like rolling ankle. It's like one of the most literal like common things, you know, common things. So it's like one of the biggest. Like the amount of times we deal with it in athletes is crazy, you know.
Yeah, we'll
So,
have weeks where like people do it.
pardon?
We'll have like a week where like 4 or 5 people roll their ankle, and we're just like, fuck sake. But like
Yeah,
their fault most of the time.
yeah. No, it is crazy. It is crazy. Well, all right, guys. If you guys are looking to jump higher and you're looking to take your verticals to the next level and manage and fix your injuries, then hit us up on Instagram and send us a message podcast so we know you came from the podcast and we can help you out. But without further ado, we'll catch you in the next JumpX podcast.
See you later, guys.